And so instead of casting a recognizable face, he wanted to find some fresh talent. So he put the word out and saw, how many was it, 10,000?
Oh, I think it was over 20,000.
20,000. He saw 20,000 girls, and long story short, he picked you.
Yes.
And you'd never acted before.
Not on the screen. I had done modeling, and I liked the theater. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Immortality is a game which recently came out on the Xbox Game Pass a few days ago. It came to my attention when a website presented it as having perfect scores, and the notion of an FMV game featuring a mystery to be solved caught my interest. After all, I'd been through one such game with Ash Mannix on his channel, Who Muted Uncle Marcus. However, while that game was hilariously tongue-in-cheek, featuring a cast of over-the-top caricatures of a middle-class family, Immortality, for the half an hour that I delved into it, presented a starkly realistic scenario of an actress who didn't find success in a chosen career path, and who seemed vulnerable enough to be taken advantage of by a director who may have been willing to do such a thing.
Male body looks best clothed. Well, the female? It's another matter entirely.
I disagree.
I made a lot of movies, John, so I have some experience here.
Marissa Marcel is not a real person, but the game goes out of its way to present the footage of her to you in a very convincing manner. The game also presents a strong content warning at the beginning. I can't say for certain what happens because I've not gone through much further than the 30 minutes that I played, and in that time I found myself getting increasingly bored with the quote-unquote gameplay. Make no mistake, this game feels more like work than anything else. You play the role of an unnamed, unknown, and unseen protagonist who has come across 3 unedited and unfinished movies. Your job is to piece the movies together bit by bit. Along the way, you'll find bits of behind-the-scenes material. The object is to complete the film archive and ultimately find out what happened to the lead actress Marissa Marcel. I like the idea, truly, I do. If I had more time on hand, I would get out a notepad and start watching each clip and making observations. Eventually, I could make a few theories and start analysing clips in further depth. And I think that's the best way to play this game, with a notepad and pen in hand, and watching the clips fully. While I did start to get bored a little bit, when you scrub through the footage, you start feeling a sense that you're missing the point. Even though in compilation scrubbing the footage is what you would normally do, what you're doing here is trying to get to the heart of the matter. And that involves watching each actor play their part and watching for visual cues, listening to the way they talk and how each person interacts with each other. You can draw your own conclusions from there and start working towards a grand theory of what happened. This game may have benefited from an in-game journal where you could save key pieces of evidence, but that could also gamify the experience a little too much. Dropping you into the deep end is pretty much the entire point of the game. Nobody knows what happened to Marissa Marcel, you have to figure it out yourself. As I said before, I've not finished this game. I don't know if you reach some kind of conclusion in the game itself, and I kind of don't want to know. The allure of solving a mystery and the journey taken to reach there is often more interesting than the conclusion itself.
After that, we felt it was in everyone's best interest that we stop the movie. We decided not to finish.
And this movie also starred Marissa Marcel, and I gather it put a stop to her career. They say she's become a recluse.
I don't want to speak for Marissa, but I think recluse may be inaccurate. Because she didn't choose the court celebrity, I just think that makes her normal.